All right, we are in the what is it? This is the 2023 Halloween tournament. Wow, we're already there. So what do we got here? I was gonna do a scouting report yesterday, and I came to Tommy's site because Golf Class Notebook doesn't update its site anymore for years. But Tommy's site didn't have. There's so many different holes from different courses in this that this right here, I think, is what the hell is this? Sunshine Glades. I see several other holes in here, so I waited. It's up today, so here we go. And we can practice today, so I'll do a scouting report and a practice all at the same time. Hole number one. All right, if there is a par four, and there's several in the game, but if there's a par four that we really need to think of this as an eagle hole, like we have to get an eagle. Like we pretty much have to. And there's several ways to get this job done. Now, first of all, I want to point out, and I've seen some people do it. I have no idea why, but I've seen some people do it. But this area out here, this island, is for private guests for the tournament because they have to take their, that's a private area. There's spectators out there. We don't hit over to that side. Everything we do is on this side. Now, I saw a buddy of mine, Kyle Brady, hit a hole-in-one on this, and he sent me the video on it. And when he took the shot, I was like, "Oh my God!" He did max curl, and he was able to get past the tree and ended up in the hole, got a hole-in-one, and it was like a thing of beauty. But I can't believe that he was able to do a max curl shot off the tee and didn't hit these freaking trees from the rookie trees. I don't recommend doing max curl shots. It can go through, obviously, but I have hit the trees more often than I've gotten through. Okay, so if we look down the field, with my 22 account, this is my strategy. If you bring out a really big ball, you can come up into this area and you can rough bump it. You can also come up into this area and you can use 2 or 3 backspin to try and stick it and try and curl it around. What I do in my 22 account, however, is I start off here and I just try and lay my ball up right there. That's shit. Here's max wedge. Here's mid wedge. This is shit. You're deep in wedge. I mean, you're wedge out here. And on really bad days in one-on-one, I'll shoot it out here so that I have a nice clean shot and take my chances with it. But you can just lay it up right there. And if you've got a Firefly or Rapier, some people bring in bringers. A very, very makeable shot. A lot of people are going to do the rough bump because it does give you a shot at a pretty decent shot at hole-in-one. And you can do this with, well, just depending on how much power you want to put onto it, you can do it with pretty much any ball, but I am going to bring a power 3 ball. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Let's enter rookie. Free entry. Free. I liked it better when we had shootouts. And you had to pay for every hole. And the wind is blowing with us. So let's check my bags first. Let's make sure I got some appropriate bags for Ricky. All right, let's turn that off. Let's get that going. Let's get my grid up. Let's get all this shit going. Dude, you could have had all that stuff ready. All right. That looks like a pretty decent bag. This bag right here is actually probably a better bag for this if I can get up into the right spot. Gives me a little bit better ball guide. Let's take that bag. Let's take a Titan. The king. The king of balls. Oh, probably should. Let's clear out a slot. Let's not be playing. Let's be farmers. It's a sad deal, but if you're playing higher up the scales and you're trying to go up the ranks and you're trying to go up the tours and the higher up you go, you know, every chest you win, it's got bigger prizes in it, and you're gonna get your clubs developed. Once you get to the epics, you know, it does take a little bit of time on the epics, but shit, up there, especially if you're playing in tournaments up there and you're getting even halfway good results, you can get pretty good prizes. Now, I suppose with a 3 Powerball, the Thor's hammer probably doesn't have enough backspin to stop right there, but shit, I wonder if it has enough backspin to stick to the cup. I can't remember what the adjustment was on the drive in that spot. It's 4-4 win. That's like 2 1/4 rings. And that's where they want to get. There's... What the fuck are you doing, dude? Shit. I have no idea how many rings they moved that. I don't... I'm just trying to figure out what the hell they were doing on those adjustments. So you can come out into this area right here and you can, you know, with a 3 Powerball and tighten it up and get on there. But there is, if you really want to go for it, there is a rough bump right here. .5 divided by 1.7, 3.1 rings. It's 3.04. There's 304. Isn't it perfect? And I did a 15% adjustment on that. It felt like 10 was, and I might have just wanted to do a 10. I think I overpulled it with the 15. I'll have to go back and look at it and see where it hit there, but it definitely died coming out of it. And the way the wind... I'll have to go back and watch that. This is why it's so important to record your own video, because like, shit, I'm talking and shooting and doing this stuff and I'm not paying attention to my opponent's shot. I'm not paying, shit, half the time I'm not paying attention to mine. I'm doing all the stuff just to take the shot. And when I go back and watch the video, I can actually, and I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? There's a lot of times I do it right, and there's a lot of times I'm like, jeez, how did that happen? Perfect. In the hole. Eagle. All right. We have to get an eagle on that hole. I mean, there's ways to do it, and even if you have lower developed stuff, I think I was playing that in 1-on-1 with 22, and shit, like a level 5, I think it was a level 5 extra mile. It only takes, I think on the other side, if you can get up there, if you're bringing a bigger ball, you have a really good opportunity just to lay it up off the green, just be right on the edge, and just chip it over. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? It seems like we just played. Didn't we just play Jamal Dunes? We did. We just played this hole. We just played it, and this area down here is hitting. Okay, so in pro, your cutoff line between your driver and your wood is like right here. So if you've got, I think with a 2 Powerball with a katana and my cataclysm, I'm like right in this area. I've got a little bit of room on my red line, but I mean, anything in front of that is driver. So if you want to take this rough bump in pro, you're looking at taking it with a driver, which is, you know, depending on the driver, if you bring one that's got good ball guide, because you're going to want to see where you're going up here. And it doesn't seem like it's a lot of topspin to get from this rough bump, but there is a little bit of a sticky spot up in kind of in this area. The one thing I like about this type of rough bump is if the wind's blowing like this, or from any direction along, you can pull it out and not have to involve the sand. But if you get wind that's blowing from like this direction, where like if you were setting it up over here where you might have to involve the sand, you can scoot the shot over and adjust your spin and then work yourself so that you can skirt the sand. And so it gives you a lot more. With this type of area, you have a lot of days. There's really only wind coming from those directions that you might not be able to work out. And so you can really kind of open it up. There is the going from right here and hitting over. I mean, I've done this shot and I see a lot of people do this shot. And I have seen some people make a hole-in-one from it, but this shot right here can go horribly wrong because there's moguls in this area. I'm going to do the rough bump. But I will tell you that I have played this hole. I was on this hole one time with Dunner, where Dunner came out, and I don't know if it was Dunner first or me first, but we got a hole-in-one. And then I got a hole-in-one. And then he got a hole-in-one. And then I got a hole-in-one. And then he got a hole-in-one, and I missed it. And we came out here, and I don't know how many hole-in-ones we hit on this hole, and we were doing a plus 10%, but it seems like the last time we played this hole, I was trying that, and it is wrong. So I'm going to go at it just with a 0, and let's see, because I'm not so sure that something in there that they haven't gone through on a lot of these holes and changed. I can tell you it feels that way on, what is the Nordic Fjords. They went through and redesigned, put in new pin placements. So we have a pin placements 1 and pin placement 2. And when they did the pin placement 2, a lot of those holes, the pins aren't really that far from where they were before. But we were doing 10% adjustments, and now we're doing 50% adjustments. We were doing 30s, and now we're doing 0s. So I'm going to just do a 0. Keith. It helps better when you're practicing if you can hit perfect. And for the last couple weeks, shit, I haven't been able to hit a fucking... Yeah, I could barely pay people to give me a perfect. Precision balls aren't even helping me hit perfect. I hit 2 greats last week with a precision ball 5. I'm not sure if it has to do with the timing deal, because so what I've been trying to do is so that once Dunner gets a place again and gets all stabilized, and we can go back to playing our practice rounds together. I've been trying to get my accounts up so that we can practice pro, or if you want, we can practice expert or we can practice master. And I don't know if I want to exert the resources that it'll take. 3.2. I am at minimum club. 3.2 divided by 1.2. 2.66 rings. I'm going to put just a titch. Hey. Just a titch of topspin. 2.66 rings. $266. Oh. That was great to the right. I think it'd have been close. Yeah, well, it obviously would have been closer. But I'm not so sure it wouldn't have been on the other side. Just a straight up 0 might have been an overpull. That's why it's so important to hit perfect on those. But in playing my accounts, trying to get so I have my odd account back up to where it was in Masters, and this account I've raised it up to expert so I can, if we want to play. But in doing that, I've been playing a lot of Tour 7 and Tour 9 in order to get through the weekly brackets. And my timing between Tour 9, Tour 7, and then going down and playing my 22 account, and then I am all jacked up. All jacked up. Hole number 3. What do we have? Hole number 3. All right, we just played this. This is another great hole, just like the one beforehand, where there is a funnel going to the cup. And so, once again, okay, I see people do it. They're not fan favorites. They're not, the press doesn't really think much about them, and neither do the fans. But I do see people hit out here. But there's spectators out here. And that, for Ricky, that's where the fans come. They walk along the course on this side, and we shoot on this side. That's how it works in Ricky. So I like to bounce from here, and you don't need a big club. You can bring out a katana. It is very, very important, in my opinion, that you bring out a 3-side spin ball. You can get this done with less, but there are sometimes, if you're not quite in the right spot, that if you didn't bring a 3-side spin ball, you won't be able to hook up with the funnel on the shot to the cup. So if the difference between being able to catch a funnel and not being able to catch a funnel is bringing out a 3-side spin ball, I'd bring out a 3-side spin ball. And a katana works fine. You can bring out a Kingmaker, but the deal here is you're going to have to play this with your clubs, because if you get too deep in here, you might find yourself in the wrong spot in between clubs if you bring out. So you'll have to practice, but I think everybody can get it done with a katana. You can, I'll just mention this real quickly, you can try and blast over here where you bring out a big and you try and hit down to the end. The deal with that is that from down here you have a great shot, but this shot with the funnel is no longer an option. So you've hit yourself out of the range. You really can't hit yourself beyond that point. If you're anywhere on that side of the line, you really won't be able to get the funnel anymore. and it takes effort, and it possibly takes bigger stuff to get out here in order to get over. So I don't necessarily think it's worth in my opinion, it's not worth the risk or the effort. You can bring out a club from right here, and I like to be as close up in this corner as you can. You want to be on the right-hand side of this fairway. So when you're doing what we're going to do is we're going to use this area here for the rough bump, and you're going to run it works great with a sniper. It's going to go for a freaking mile because it's all downhill right here, and you can find that spot. And so the best angle on this runs through this area. So hitting it out here and being like right here is still fine. But this is where if you didn't bring the 3-side spin ball, now you're screwed. But if you hit it up into this area, you'll have more flexibility down here on the end. And then on the second shot, in the past, even though this is, in the past we've done like a plus 10%, and I think it's at mid club or minimum club. It'll be wherever you're at in the club. You definitely want to make sure that you check where you're at in the club. And in the past, we did plus 10%. But once again, I'm not sure, because we played this in the last tournament, and this is a huge Albie hole. This is a great hole to get this adjustment right on. And I don't think I got it right in the last tournament. And I'm not. So I'm going to start at 0 and not make any assumptions, and then see what happens. All right. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And any club will work. The rock will work. I really don't want to take a rock and a sniper, or a rock and a guardian. I'm gonna take that bag. Why not? I have traditionally always done 10% on the drive, but just to do some adjustment. But I think if I was really trying to get up there, and the wind was blowing headwind or tailwind, maybe adding on 5%, 10%, just to make sure it doesn't overshoot. I like to give myself plenty of room here. I do not want to have to do any overpower. I don't want to do any. We are laying it up. And it is important whenever you're using the word layup that you lay it up where you want it to lay it up. And you can see my opponent is trying to blast it. I actually am encouraged by this because we're going to get to see the difference. They better not hit it to the left. Perfect. They're actually, with a 3-power ball, they might have the, they can probably do the rough bump, but they're at the wrong angle. All that work to try and get up there. Okay, 3.2 divided by 1.7. Hey, times, okay, 2 rings, 2.1. I'm going to lean just a little to the right. Hitting it perfect. Just run up to that corner. There we go. No fuss, no muss. That's right. Now my opponent does have the same shot, and with the Cataclysm, they do have the distance. And they have a 3 side spin ball, so they're gonna have. I'm gonna take this wherever I'm at in my club. Like I said, I'm not gonna add on or anything. I'm just gonna do a straight up shot. They must not know about the funnel, because they could have done the funnel very easily with that Cataclysm right there. It does work good with a sniper because you have good ball guide. There's max. There's minimum club. Now watch. See the tail? I'm moving it and the tail is staying in the same spot. 4, I'm at minimum club. 4 divided by 1.2. 3.33 rings. There's 333. Getting it perfect. And we'll see which way to go. The wind was blowing from the right to the left. And I probably should have taken 1 off. I should have did minus 0.1. But the deal there is that I'm also, there's a funnel right there. So like, am I on the outside of that deal? So I'm gonna make a note, and I'm gonna take off 10%, and then we'll see if it changed it, or I'm gonna take something off on that. I am really gonna try and shoot this week where I don't have any preconceptions. I don't want to know what anybody else knows. I just want to go out there because I think they've changed. It feels like it. They've been dinking around behind the scenes. Hole number 4. Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? What is? All right. This is another one of the draft holes. And there is a definite rough bump right here. And in the past, we've always done like 10% on this one as well. That's funny that they have for shot number 1 and shot number 2. All right. There is a rough bump from right here, and you can go straight at it. And like I said, in the past, we have always done plus 10%, but I'm going to do a 0 today, and I'm just going to take it and see what the deal is. You can bounce off from here and then run at it. But there is a beautiful rough bump right there. Beautiful. once again, spectators are on these islands. Don't head out there to those islands. There's a bunch of spectators out there. Piss them off. All right. And you can play any ball here, so I'm just going to play a Marlin. Save a ball. It is helpful to have I think it is helpful to have a little teeny bit of side spin, but I'm not sure that you need more than one. We're going to find out. We'll see. Cursed Swamp. Fuck, this is not the Cursed Swamp. This is one of those holes. Okay. This is not the hole that we were just looking at. This is not the hole that we were looking at. So we have several ways to play this. We can play it over here, but if you bring out the right stuff, four, five. Isn't it perfect? You can bring out a big ball there. I just wanted to see if I could catch that and make it over that sand. It is possible to get down in there and not have to get too jiggy with it. With a Marlin. We'll go find this. This is the duck hole. Anybody who's played the game for any length of time knows the duck hole. This hole right here is freaking vicious. And I will tell you, like, you see this little bit of water that's up here, you think, I'm going over here. And you don't even see this. This is an optical illusion. There is any golfer who's played this game for any length of time and has gone for it, like my opponent's getting ready to go for it, has ended up in that drink right there. Hitting it perfect. Yep. Needed a little more top spin or a little more oomph, or needed to come in a little bit more to the left. What the fuck am I doing with an Amazon in my bag? How did that happen? All right, here we go. Isn't it perfect? Ha ha ha. Close. My opponent's like, what are you doing, dude? This is a hole right here that I have made a lot of eagles on this by just laying it up over there on the left and coming at the cup. It's a difficult hole to come at because if you lay up over on the left-hand side, when you're coming to the cup, there's a lot of little, it doesn't look like it right there, but there's a lot of movement on that green. There's a lot of little moguls and a lot of little shit things your ball's got to go through. It can easily get off trajectory. Nice. Nice. I think what my opponent did there, let's go find that hole. That was not the hole that I was, what hole was that? That was hole number 4. Did we go look at the wrong hole? No, that was the hole number 4. That is not the hole we just played. Is the duck hole even on here? Well, now we don't know if we're even in the ballpark of... Now, who got it wrong? Did Tommy get it wrong, or did Golf Clash put the deal on there? Because we had this happen last week where we got the wrong hole. What hole are we doing now? Jeez. How hard can this be? Okay, we got a par 3 here. Does that look like the hole? Possibly. All right, I guess that hole is right. What hole? Hold on, let me see if I can figure out where that hole's from. All right, I found it. It's Sunshine Glades, hole number 7. The duck hole. Yeah, you can hit, in one-on-one, I always just lay up over here and take this shot. In one-on-one, I always do a plus 10%, but I'm not sure. And I have made this shot, I mean, if I hit it perfect, I do get this shot to go in quite a bit. It's a long iron from this distance, and I think you're pretty close to where you're kind of like at your red line. It's like minimum club. You do have a good shot from over here, but if you want to try and get on a 1, what I was doing with the 0 pair ball here and all that topspin, trying to get it through, but you're opening up this corner. So I'm kind of surprised my opponent was there, because with a 3 power ball, being able to work up, with a 5 power ball, you can work up into this bigger spot. And so from here, let's get back far enough, and we can see the tee box. If we draw a line from the tee box to that area, we're going off in this so that we only have to cover this little bit. But when you're back down in here, if you go to apply any side spin, you can't, or any curl, you can't do it, because it's just going to take you into the tree. So you've got to let it go. You got to hope that its trajectory will get a bounce before the rough, and then maneuver over, and then clear out. But if you can pull yourself up into this area, you open that mouth up, so your curl becomes effective, and then you can do just a little bit of curl to try and bring it up there. It's best. You can get up into this area with a 3 power ball and do lots of overpower, but I'll tell you, it is so easy to end up in the drink over in here, and that is OB, out of bounds, and that is bad. You will end up in the drink, and it's not good. It's not good. But I do think that we can come out here with just a 3 power ball and do what my opponent did. I think they could have set their shot up a little bit better to get through that. A topspin boost ball might help too. We have some options on there. I'm definitely going to, in a tournament, go for the green every time. Why not? Why not? All right. What do we have here? What are we on? Are we on hole number 5? Is that all we are? We are on hole number 5. Hopefully this is hole number 5. Now, there is a rough bump that we can do here. And I'm not sure if we can get it done with the Grizzly or if we have to bring a Goliath, but there is, once again, a rough bump right down in this area that we can do. And once again, this is another one of those ones that we've done a plus 10%. And I've made a ton of hole-in-ones on this hole. I'll just do a 0. We'll do a 0. We'll see. These types of rough bumps, it's so important to know, because if if let's say it's a headwind day, you overpull it, now you've missed the rough. You underpull it, now you're in the sand. Tailwind day, same thing. You overpull, you're in the sand. Underpull, you're in the rough. Or you miss the rough. The sidewind days are really safe, because if you over or underpull it, you're still going to hit the rough. But you don't get a really good read. This one today, 4-5. Oh, now I'm thinking about this hole, and I am thinking there is a rough bump down there, and this is the rough bump that blows, because this course seems like it used to be, like if we went way back in my videos and looked at this hole, that sand trap that's there used to be a lot flatter. It seemed like it wasn't as dug out. And the rough that's there used to be a little flatter, and now it curves down like this, and where you're hitting on the rough is right on the curvature, and shit can go south. I think I was doing a 20% adjustment on this. We just played this hole. It was like 20% plus 1. 20% times 5.1 divided by, here's max. Wait a minute, I'm at mid club, divided by 1.1, 5.66 rings. .66 rings. There's 566. Getting it perfect. And I still didn't pull enough. I did a 20% plus 0.1 at mid club. I guess we're talking 30. At this point, I almost want to pull up 40 just so I can get on the other side so I know that I'm somewhere between 20 and 40. All right. We just played that hole. We got all these holes in the game, and we have to play ones we just literally played last week. What's good is that we don't play the Sunshine Glades as much as we used to play the Sunshine Glades before. The Sunshine Glades was like every other tournament for those holes have got to be have to have been in more tournaments than any other course out there. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. What is? All right. Now, so this hole right here, being one of the Sunshine Glades holes, this little area here, let's talk about the typical drive if you're coming out into this area. Where you want to end up over here is going to be dictated by what shot you want to take going to the cup. So if you want a nice clean shot to the cup and you want to just run it out to the cup, then you really want to be in this upper quadrant on this area. Up here in the shadow is the best area, because what it does is the shot to the cup, it really opens this shot up from here, and so you have a nice clean shot. Now on the green is shaped like this. We got this kind of a green, and there's a ridge that runs right along this area, right along where my ball guide's running, and everything on this side's rolling down, and everything over here is flat. And so as you're going towards the hole, it's wanting to break, and then right at the hole, it kind of washes out where it goes out into the whole area, and your ball, it just seems like it's always a little bit off trajectory when you're trying to come at it from this way. You can get it to go in, but it just seems like everything's perfect until the last second, and then it just drifts off. So a lot of people, instead of taking the straight up shot from here, will put it real close in this area, up skirting the sand. And the reason they want to get over here is because there is a rough bump that they can do, this eye rough bump. Now, I'm not a fan of this particular rough bump because it is definitely, you hit perfect or you are in trouble. Because if you hit it great to the right, you're going to miss the rough. And if you hit it great to the left, that bounce that it takes where the second bounce is out of the rough and then it's running to the cup, that second bounce is going to clip the rough, and it's very likely you'll get caught right there in the rough. And so you have to hit that shot perfect. That's not my cup of tea, but I have lots of friends that this is their cup of tea. They love that shot. So we came on this hole, and when you're on this pad, I'm a big fan of always giving myself 2 rings of separation between any transitional surface. But this right here is a prime example of what a transitional surface is. When you're on this area, this first little bit is curved. So this little thing looks like this, and then it's flat, and then it's curved over. So the rough doesn't start until here. So you got all of this that's in the curve. As far as I'm concerned, any of this shit that's on the curve is part of the transitional surface. I want to be 2 rings up here in the flat, because if you set yourself up where, you were right here, and then you do hit a great to the right, and you hit this curvature, your ball is going to go bam. And it's very likely that your ball is not only going to go to the right, it's going to come in, it it hits on this curvature, and instead of bouncing up, it bounces flat, and it'll just dive right over to the other side and end you up. Same thing anywhere on this. If it catches that curvature, the ball's going to run flat, and it's very likely you're going to end up in some big ass shit. So always hit in the center of this island and use curl to try and bring it over there. That's why we have curl. With a quarterback, you can send it up dead center in the middle of that island, put max top spin on it, max curl, and it'll end up right there in the shadows. I took that shot with a quarterback for years. I came on this hole one year and I got my ass handed to me. This is a super easy hole. I've played this hole a billion times in one-on-one, and I got my ass. I screwed up on this hole like 3 times in a row where I dropped the shot, and I was like, I am done. I do not like Sunshine Glades just because we played it so much. But this shot over here is just shit. So I decided I was going to try and figure out a different way. If we have a tailwind, and you can only, and now with the toss and boost balls that are out there, you might be able to do it with a side wind. But if you got a headwind, it's going to be very problematic. You can bring out a 5 power ball, and you can shoot for this area right here and try and rough bump yourself out into this. And from here, you have a straight up the gut. Here's the pin, and it's all rolling downhill, and you're coming at it from this angle, and there's a rough bump that you can do from right there going right straight up the hill to the cup, and you don't have to worry about that breaking at the end. If you can get your trajectory right, it goes right at the cup. Getting out to here is the challenge. It's only possible on days when there's tailwind, or possibly with some of the sides or topspin boost balls with side wind. But on headwind days, I don't know if you can get out there. It pushes so hard up against the ball right here that it's just, I don't think you can do it. So we're going to see. We'll see which way the wind's blowing. The wind's blowing side wind. I think we can do it on side wind days. I think we can. I think we can. Let's open up a chest. This freaking Sunshine Glades. All right. What are we going to take here? What are we going to take? I'm going to take my bag number 5 because it hits the farthest, and I'm going to take a Berserker. We'll see if we can get over there on a without any topspin boost, without any stuff, on a non pure side wind day. We'll see if we can get over there. Maybe. We'll see. Now, I've only taken the shot to the cup. It's only been the last 2 or 3 tournaments that we've played this that I've started hitting over to that side. In pro and expert, there is a way to get on here. Now, they've got, you know what? I think with some of I might be able to get over there with a topspin boost ball. Look at that. Yeah, shit. Why go for the other side when we can try and get on? Let's do that. Now that's a thing of beauty. This is where some of the newer ball inventory, or the ball inventory that we have now, on what we can get done with it versus what we could get done. Yeah, that's the way to do it right there. And just try and use that wind to your advantage. That is the way to do it. We'll see if I can pick up a little bit of wind and even make it over to the other side. Almost! If it hadn't been 75 rings off, I probably would have made that. My opponent's in hornet range from there. That's awesome. It's too bad they didn't pull their red line so I could see. That must be minimum club. Or close. Yeah. Maybe mid. Maybe. Now, the bad thing about over here is you can't recover if you hit here. Or maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe. We'll go. We could recover, but we're not going to. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit right here because this is where we would be trying to get to. And take this shot so you can see what this shot looks like. So we could recover from over there. I don't know that I could have got on the green, but I could have got right off the green and had a short chip. I still would have had work to do, but it would have been work that could have got done. And I definitely, in that situation, would not have tried to go for it. I would have just laid it up off the green. A rough shot, which you hit perfect and goes in, is good, but what's up, baby? Yeah. I'm gonna just do a, even though I'm at mid club, I'm gonna do a straight up wind adjustment, 5-1. I'm just gonna do 1-to-1. One to one, 5.1. There's 5-1. Getting it perfect. I think I like my opponent's way of going better. But I do, one of the things I do like about that side right there is the shot to the cup is up the hill. So you're not involved with as much with the break where you're riding on a ridge, and if you're on the left hand side it's starting to drop off really fast. And there's a couple different ways to go at it. I like my opponent's way. You know, the deal is that in rookie, let's go look at that hole. In rookie, that has not been possible before because of those topspin boosts. But with the topspin boost balls, being able, that was something that was out there for pro and expert, because the winds would be higher and they'd be able to get it. So on tailwind days, they were able to get that extra little push to rough bump out into that. But with these topspin boost balls, being able to get over there, and like this shot right here, once again, I could use a topspin boost ball here to get over. If it was a pure headwind day where like this shot's not available because the wind is definitely going to kill it. I mean, kill it. I don't know that either one of these shots are available, because this shot over here is definitely not good on headwind. The problem is that you just can't get out to clip the rough, to get that rough bump. All right. Hole number 7. We just played this hole. Now, I will say in one-on-one, Dunner and I were streaming, and one of his viewers showed Dunner a spot where you're hitting out to about right here. There's a sticky spot you can get out here where if you come over on this side, you're starting off about where that divot is right there, and you can kind of wiggle your ball guide around, and you'll see where your tail, there's a sticky spot, and it's a couple topspin from there just to get out into this spot. This gives you a minimum sniper shot, and I think it was plus 10 at min, and I've been using it in one-on-one, and it's definitely a great shot, and there's no fuss, no muss. It's super easy to get out here. It's super easy to make the shot to the cup. It's there. But if you bring out big stuff, you can try and get over to the other side where you're here, where you can get a loft over and you can get a run and get up in front of the green. Now, one-on-one, I'd never do that. But if the wind was blowing right and I had the ball inventory where I could get over to the other side and try and get my launch coming up, I would definitely go for it in a tournament. I mean, you can recover from out here, but shit, if you can get right here off the green where you got a chip, that might be worth the risk. I think the last time we played this, I was actually coming out. I was using an APOC, and I was coming off on this side and trying to, from my landing area, cover that with a max curl shot. I think it was like 3 rings off of this transitional surface to get my angle off, and then doing max curl, trying to get the run over. But it was definitely a big shot. Let's try it again. Let's try it. Why not? Why not? And that wind works. That wind works for us. We could use that wind if we wanted. Complete your tournament matches in as few shots as possible. Hey, thanks for the tip. Thanks. Thanks for the tip, man. Yeah, I'm just coming up into that area. By 3 rings off. Come into that area, I don't have to do any curl at all. Where's my second bounce? I'm going to leave the wind in. And I'm going to not do any curl. I'm just going to try and hit it straight up. And I'm going to leave it in. Here we go. And that 1.5 rings great to the right shouldn't kill me. Don't get on the green. On the fringe. Don't get on. There you go. That's one way to do it. Now, I will tell you that if you had a big topper, you can't make it over to the other side, you could start off on this side with a 5 power ball and run your top spin out and get at least up to the split between the fairways up in that area. Definitely be wedge to the cup. Very nice. Very nice. Let's try and backspin it in. Why not? We don't want to qualify today. Ah, I missed it. Oh, can't believe that went in. Can't believe that went in. Eagle. Why was I for some reason I was thinking this is a par 5. It's not. All right, that's how to get it. That's one way to get an eagle on this. I do like the shot that our viewer put out there, because, and I'll tell you why, because you can do it with any ball. You can do it with any ball. I play it in one-on-one with a katana, so when I'm out in that area, I think as far as like distance to the cup, a katana will give you, make sure you're always at minimum club. If you bring out, I think if you brought anything bigger than a katana, you'd probably be in trouble. So maybe a quasar or a katana. Let's make sure we do not qualify today. Yeah, shit. Have I done anything stupid? I haven't done anything stupid. All right. I guess maybe I might qualify today. Maybe. I hadn't planned on qualifying today. All right. This par 3 right here is another one of those par 3s that in the past I've always done 10% on. But once again, I'm not so sure. Is this the hole? I think this is the hole. There is a rough bump that we can do here. You can bounce off this island. And one-on-one, I almost always bounce off the island. And this hole has a tendency to run long. So, like, you get where you're set up and you think everything's perfect. And then when you go to do the shot, so, like, when you set the shot up, if you got your ball guide out, it put on one more topspin and then either pull back a little, or excuse me, one more backspin. And then that'll pull your ball guide back a little. And then you can kind of scoot it up a little. But whatever you originally think is what you need on this, it's typically you're going to run out a little fast. You'll need a little bit more backspin, or you'll need to pull back a little bit farther from the cup to let it roll out. I'm going to try the rough bump. The rough bump here is really good because there's not a lot of distortion when you go into the sand. And like I said, in the past we've always done a 10, but with this wind, all right, we'll just do a 10. We'll do it. Let's make sure we got, let's not have to waste any time picking a freaking, I think in order to do the shot, to do the rough bump, you do need a bigger ball. I'm going to take a Titan just to make sure that I can get to the spot. And if I can, I will drop down. Man, I really hate taking rough bump. This is the deal when I'm gonna take it. I'm just gonna take it wherever I'm at in my club. We'll see. We'll see if we need to do the 10. There's max. There's min. There's mid. So I'm at the 3/4 mark. So it's 4.4 divided by 1.1. 4 rings. Pretty easy. Three topspin right at it. About 1.5 rings into the rough. 4 rings is 4/4. Oh. No read whatsoever. We'll see if my opponent bounces off the island, because if they do, you'll see what I'm talking about as far as it like running out. They came from the last hole, and they're looking through their big, massive ball inventory right now, trying to find the ball. And there they go. Come on. You can try and do what my opponent's doing, where you're coming at it from the side. You can go straight at it too. What's funny about that little island is you can see along the edge where it rolls off into the sand. It's flat up on the top, and then it slopes down to the rough. If you clip on that little edge area, your ball trajectory goes flat. I typically only hit off the island in one-on-one, but because I'm always relegated to come to this hole or any of these type of holes with just a low power ball. In the hole. All right, let's see if we can get an Albie on this last hole. The 2 easy holes we got, it seems like there was a 3rd easy hole and we didn't get it. The duck hole. And that's not an easy hole, but that hole is definitely gettable. The thing on the duck hole is to bring out whatever equipment you need to bring out, so you don't have to do any overpower. So you can increase your odds of hitting perfect. Hole number 9. Hole number 9. What is hole number 9? Sunshine Glades. All right. Now, let's talk about this hole. In one-on-one, I always play where I bounce off here, try and get my run up, try and stop, and then you got this shitty little shot going around the trees, and I almost always try and go to the right around the trees where you're bouncing out in here. Typically in one-on-one, if you're using a marlin, this is a shit shot where it's really nice to have like a big hitting wood on the backside so that you can really get up in here. And even then, you still have to do overpower a lot and try and curl it around the tree and stick it up by the green. Getting over here in one-on-one is, if you bring out the right, if you bring out a bigger ball, you can do it. But like in most of the time in one-on-one, if you're just playing with a lower power ball, it's pretty tough over here. But in tournament play, shit, there's spectators out here. Nobody hits over here in tournament play. Everybody hits over to this side. So, like, there's spectators standing out here. They took a boat out. This is a private party. We hit out into that area, and you're going to piss off some big donors. So, let's play to the left. Now, we have some options here. Playing to the left, and it carries a mile down in this. So if we have a tailwind day, and let's say it was a 4-mile-an-hour wind, it is carrying down in here, especially on a max overpower shot, probably 8 to 10 miles an hour. It is super carrying. And if we're on a headwind day, it is super pushing up against. I don't know if it's the combination of the water sand, what the deal is. It's Golf Clash. It is bad. What I normally do when I'm coming in here is I try and set my ball guide up so that I'm aiming towards this rough, and then I put some curl on it so that I know that by the time my ball gets here, unless I hit it 3 rings great to the left, there's no way it's going to hit the rough here because I put curl on it. So as soon as it makes its first bounce, it's already going in a different direction, trying to skirt it. You can try and get way up here to the front if you bring out the right stuff. And you got a killer shot from there. Even from back in here, you have a killer shot, and there's a rough bump that you can do going right at the cup. So let's get out there. Let's take a Titan, the King. See what we can get done with just a regular 3-power ball, and you'll get the idea. And this is definitely stuff that you want to play with your account and your ball inventory and your clubs to see what you can do, because you can increase your shot on that rough bump if you can get way up on this side. You can enhance it. I suppose you could try and get over to this side and bounce up and get way up here in the front, but you can get closer to the hole if you're over here. I mean, this is a hole I need to come out and practice a shot where you start way off on the left, trying to do a max curl shot with your APOC. That right there is a thing of beauty. That dog will hunt. That is nice, my friend. Nice. Like if you brought out a big power ball and started off over here and tried to bridge the gap and tried to bring the ball around this way. I'm going to leave that wind in. Isn't it perfect? And just run it out there. I'm not sure. I think that's still going to be wood. That might be long iron though. Let's see where my opponent's at. They're still on wood. Where's their red line? I might have a red line issue here. I wish my opponent would show us where they're at in their club. They've got to be towards men. They moved it about 3 rings. Now, in the past, we've always added on a little bit of wind on this shot as well, but I'm going to take it wherever I'm at my club. I'm just going to take it. Let's see. Grizzly. I'm in minimum sniper. .2 divided by 1.2. 1.83 rings. There's one. It would help if I move the ring set. There's one. Hey. Oh, fuck. Now we'll never know. At least the ones I hit great went on the side that they were supposed to go on, so at least we got that going for us. Can you hit perfect? I think I can hit perfect. I'm not sure when I can hit perfect, but I think I can hit perfect. They tell me that somewhere between a great to the left and a great to the right there is a perfect, but I'm not sure. Wow, there it is right there. In the hole. All right, so there was a look at it. Several different courses here. I'm not sure how many of those are Sunshine Glades. It seemed like there was quite a few of them that were Sunshine Glade holes. So, and there was at least one Jamal Dunes that was in there, maybe two. Several different courses. But it does seem like there's quite a few of those holes we just played. And there's a lot of opportunities to pick up shots out there. So I am really kind of, this is going to be a scary low tournament, because like hole number 1, you got to get. Hole number 2, that is definitely gettable. I mean, that is definitely gettable. Hole number 3, this is one of the best Albie shots in the game with this pin placement. Great opportunity. Hole number 4, I think this one was the wrong one. This is the duck hole, and that is a great opportunity. We need to get the duck hole at least once around. So, I mean, like, it's not one of those ones like hole number 1 that you got to get it every time you play it, but you got to get it at least once in the round. This hole right here is makeable, but I'm not going to count it as something that this hole number 5 hole number 5 is a great hole, because in the weekend round, if you can pick up hole number 5, that's a hole that you really weren't counting on, right? That's so, like, it's big when you make one of the holes that you're not really counting on, and hole number 5 to me is like one of those holes. This hole here is makeable, and I've made a lot of Albies on this hole, but this hole it really just depends on which way the wind's going and where you're putting yourself. I do like what my opponent did, where they put themselves over here and they have a flat shot. Shit, that is on the same level. I mean, there really can't be, other than just the wind, any adjust. If there is, I'm going to be really surprised, because that is pretty much as flat as it gets from there to the cup. Even from out here is a pretty good shot. We do have options on this, depending on which way the wind's going. We do. Hole number 7. We got a great opportunity to pick one up on that. That is another hole right there. This isn't quite as good as where we got to get it every other time, but man, we do have a great opportunity to pick up a shot there. Hole number 8. This is another really hole-in-oneable hole. There's a lot of really good holes in here that we have opportunities on. This hole right here, I have hit some Albies on this, but this hole right here is not one of my... It's not going to be on my list of favorite holes anytime soon. I think we have this, like right here, we got a 16 up at the top, and I really think in the weekend, if it's not minus 30s up at the top, and you've got to get plus that in order to have a banner chance, I'm going to be really surprised. Because once people start to figure out the adjustments on these par 3s and start sinking these par 3s, these scores are going to be, all of these 14s here are going to turn into 15s. And now we're talking 30. This will be a crazy little tournament. I'm going to, well, now that I've qualified this one, and I don't have any way around it, I'm going to watch this video, and take some notes so that I can play my 22 account. And then I will, I'm going to try and get a hold of Dunner today. This should be a good day for him to go out there and for us to practice, and we might be able to get a pro round in. We'll see. We'll see you on that one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe. It's free. It's free today. I'm running a special today. If you're not a subscriber and you hit the subscribe button, there's no charge today. That's the kind, I'm magnanimous. That's the word. Hit the like, ring the bell, do all that good stuff. Leave a comment. I'll see you on the next one.